Hello everybody. I'm so glad that you can only see me from here, alright? Because I've got I was wearing like a shirt thing to go to the hospital today. This is a health update, by the way. And I've got I just put this black vest top underneath, but it's like keeps riding up. It's like a crop top, and the old boots is just, it's hanging, isn't it? It's doing its thing, it's swinging, it's flapping, it's, clapping. Yeah, the old world knows it's there today. But anyway, I hope you're all alright and doing fine and dandy and whatever. The old UK sun has got its hat on, isn't it? The sun has got its hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. I wish I had a garden because I need to sit out and get it suntan because I'm so white. But I ain't got one. It is what it is. All you lot that have got gardens, be grateful, alright? And think, I'm so grateful I've got a garden I can sit out in because your girl ain't, alright? I ain't. Anyhow, anywho. This is a health update, and a lot of you have said to me, we don't mind you talking about your health and stuff like that, and some of you have actually asked for these updates, and I've got a very important one today. So I would really like some views on it, and I do need to do some research myself as to what is going on, but I'll start with yesterday. So I have been having really bad pains in my gallbladder and liver, plus my wee has been smelling like it's like bleeding like maple syrup. So sweet. It's been smelling really, really sweet. So I take myself to the hospital, and unfortunately, when I got there, I didn't realise the urgent care centre, so they can't quite do for you the things that the A&E can do. Do you know what I mean? But I thought, if you think that I am going to sit, what's Kelly's texting me? If you think I'm going to sit in, sorry, I don't know what she's saying, but anyway, I thought, if you think I'm going to sit 14 hours like I did last time, don't think so. Anyway, while I was there, she did my blood sugars and they were 18.1, which she said was quite high. It is quite high. I don't think it's major. Then she checked my ketones, but she said they seem to be okay. But she done my urine because I was like, I'm getting really bad lower back pain and this sweet smelling, urine, whatever. And I thought maybe it was either to do with my diabetes or it's urine infection. Anyway, she said when it was checked, all she could see was just glucose for days. So it's my diabetes. Now, the thing is, something my mum said to me before I get on to what's happened today is, she said the problem is, the reason that your diabetes is not under control is because you don't do what you're told. And this is true. I don't do what I'm told, right? Because from what I can gather with my diabetes, to get it under control as well as exercise, it's like my sister say, can't you take a half-hour walk outside? Absolutely not. I get 15 minutes down the road and I need a poo and I'm going to shite myself. And if there's no toilets, what am I going to do? Waddle along like a baby in a nappy with a tenor lady on? I don't think so. So, I started doing a bit of trampoline here and that. But anyway, for what that matters, apparently I've put on 7 kilos. I was like, that's when I got weighted tiny. But anyway, going back to what I was saying about myself. So, no, I don't, right? I don't have normal butter anymore. I only have Proactive. I don't have normal bread anymore. I only have sourdough. But I do eat a few digestives a day, chocolate digestives. And I do have jam on my sourdough, right? So that's the first things I'm doing wrong, is that I shouldn't be having jam, shouldn't be having biscuits. I don't have sugar. I do have the Canderel, so that's fine. I do only have water with a bit of juice in it. Now, I haven't had Pepsi in years. But if I don't per se buy chocolate, but say if there was an Easter egg in there and no one's eating it, I'll crack it and I'll take a bit here and there throughout the day. I know I shouldn't, but I do. But I don't ever have lunch unless, like, say if I've got up early because I'm meeting, which is not very often. I've told you, if I've gone out with my sister and my friend Lindsay, then I will have lunch and then dinner. But it's usually only breakfast, which I've just told you what I have, and then dinner. But when it comes to dinner, I have whatever I want. whatever I want, right? Because this is the truth of the matter. What they're telling me to do, what with the exercise and what I can eat, I sit in this house most days, yeah. I do. If I've got to pop out for something or another, and I will visit a charity shop, you know, when you'll see that I've had that over there for ages or whatever. But most of the time, unless it's a hospital appointment or appointments for my eyes, or if Callie's got an appointment, I don't really go out. I smoke 5 cigarettes a day, about 5, which is sometimes maybe 8, I don't know, but mainly around about 5, right? And I just think to myself, like, I find my life really is so shit, yeah? If I now start eating what they want me to, like broth, chicken without the skin on, I can do that, yeah? But with just salad or veggies and, you know, all the right stuff, boring. And you can say, well, Lisa, this is your health you're talking about. But you know what? I'd rather get the noose, I think, because if that sounds really bad, but I am honest with you, and I just feel if I take away everything, so like today, the doctor said to me, you know, you smoke 5 cigarettes, can we make that 0? No, we can't. That's my only vice. Do you drink? Absolutely not. Not a drop. I've got fatty liver disease. No. And this isn't due to drinking. This has been from all medication. So I know what I'm doing is wrong. I know I'm eating the wrong things. I wouldn't say I overeat. I don't eat a lot. I don't scoff. But if I want to sit and have chicken and put a load of mayonnaise on top of it, load of tomato ketchup, loads of dips, pita bread. This is the thing. I love my carbs, right? I want a pizza. I want my hot dog pasta that Callie makes me, which I adore, right? I want my pasta bakes. I want my Parmesan chicken, yeah, with the spaghetti. I don't really like chips. I'm not really a potato person, but I do like a roast potato, all right? Dripping in fat, greasy fat, yeah? That much fat in a roasting dish, whack them potatoes in, covered in salt. So I know I'm eating the wrong things. Like I say, but if I end up now going, right, okay, so I don't really leave the house, then you could say, but Lisa, if you do this, then maybe you would have a better quality of life. Who knows? I might well do. I might not. I might just go even more, sink down into the deepest pits of hell of depression. So, I mean, I'm not an overeater, but I do like to just go, if this is what I want for dinner, this is what I'm going to have, right? No, oh, I can't have that. Well, I can't have that. Oh, no, you can't have that. I won't have this. I won't have that. Blah, de, blah, de, blah, right? So, it's hard, all right? It is hard. Anyway, so today, 10:30. Shut up. So today I had, let me fold this over. I had this appointment and it was the Diabetic Medicine Outpatient Clinic appointment on the 29th of April, and it was at 10:30. I thought you'd taken the Uncle Bertie's fight to get up. Anyway, so I did, yeah. And I went there anyway. So I got called in. They took my weight, which they said, well, the last time I was weighed, I was 100 kilos. I know, fat cow. Now I'm 107. Now I'm an effer. I'm effer lump, right? It is what it is, right? So anyway, well, I know it ain't what it is, but it ain't. Have I put on, and I've been doing trampoline and doing this to the side and that to the side. I should have lost weight, not put on 7. I thought their scales are wrong. Do you know what I mean? But obviously they're not. It's one you sit on. Anyway, I wasn't in there very long. And then I think she was a registrar. Because she spoke to someone who was much higher than her, a top consultant. But I'll get to that part in a little while. So anyway, she sat me down. And do you know what? The loveliest doctor that I've ever had in all the years I've been going to the hospital. So she sat me down and she started looking through all my notes, and she was like, basically, oh my God. She said, you know, in other words, she was trying to say herself, you've really been pushed under the carpet. You've been moved from pillar to post, hospital to hospital. I told her that my last fibro scan and ultrasounds had gone missing, and she didn't seem to see how that was possible. And she said it couldn't have happened. I said, no, honestly, it did. She said, well, you need to phone your doctor and tell them, because they will be able to find it on the system. I said, no, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I did that and they can't find it either. I said, and your gastroenterology team at the same hospital, I said, they can't find them either. I said, so I really need a fibro scan and an ultrasound. She said, well, you know, she's a diabetic doctor. She said, I'm not, that's for your gastroenterology team. I thought I was seeing them in July. I got it wrong. I'm seeing them in June. So I've got to talk to them about that. Anyway, so she started saying about, oh, and listen to this. I don't know if my letters, because I'm thinking, where's my letters, right? I think they're going to my old address, because when she looked on the system, she said, right, so you've got, so she went through all what I've got, obviously, the diabetes, the fatty liver. She said, you've got a polyp in your gallbladder, but you've also got gallstones. I was like, what? No, I haven't. She said, no, you have. She showed me the computer and it said new findings in brackets and it said gallstones. I said, I had no idea. Nobody has told me. She said, well, you should have been informed. I said, I can assure you I've not. What's going on with my life? I said, I've not been informed. So I've now got gallstones. And she was saying that she believes most of the pain that I'm suffering is more so the gallstones than the gallbladder than the liver. So I said to her, yeah, I didn't know that. Anyway, she asked me other things I had wrong as well. I mean, she wrote a lot of stuff. I mean, I was in there about an hour, maybe more. And I was telling her, I said, a lot of it she would have written down. She knew like the osteoarthritis, the asthma, the OCD, obviously cholesterol, high blood pressure. And she was asking me if I was on statins for that, but then even that, I feel like they're not doing their job properly, because I'm on these other tablets called Izimitibi, I think they're called. But she said, oh, are you taking them like you're not taking the statins because you're taking the Izimitibi? And I said, no, I'm still taking pravastatin. I think I've been given too much medication as well, and I'm knocking it back like sweets, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, anyway, so I'm going to try and get to, because there was so much she went through. But do you know what? Bless her. She got hold of my hand and she had all she looked like she was teary-eyed. I thought, bless her. She said to me, you're so beautiful. And I was like, oh. She said, you're so beautiful. She said, and you're too young to have all of this. She said, and I feel so bad for you. That's a doctor saying that to me. And I was taken back and I said, thank you. So I said, oh, bless you. I said, I didn't know what to say to her. I was like, bless you. I said, you're so sweet, thank you. And she said, I just feel so bad for you in the way you've been treated. She said, because I can see you've been moved from pillar to post, hospital to hospital, doctor to doctor. She said, I can see it all. It's all here. I can see it. Anyway, then she basically said, listen, so cut a long story short, it's like they all say, right? You want to get well, you need to lose the weight. Now, like I said, and my sister said, you could do this yourself without any medication. And I am honest, because I am honest, yeah. That's one thing I might sometimes say things wrong. I might even come out with things and they might sound a bit freaky, but they are true to the best of my knowledge. 1 minute. My Callie's just coming. So Callie's literally only spoke to me for 2 seconds and I've forgotten where I was and what I was saying. So anyway, I don't know what I was saying. This is going to piss me off now. It's gone. So I'll remember what I can remember, but I can't remember what I was saying to you before that. So I'm really sorry, guys. But anyway, so basically, yeah, a lot of it boils down to you need to lose the weight. Oh, that was it, I think. So my sister was like, can you, do it yourself? I'm like, no, I can't. And there might be a few of you going, well, no, Lisa, you can. Just do what they're telling you to do. Eat what they're telling you to eat. Go and try and do a bit, even if you can't. It's like my sister was saying, walk around your house then if you need the loo. No, I'm too exhausted. My knee hurts and I don't want to do it. So, then you can all say, well, you're not helping yourself. Listen, you can get to a point in your life where you've just had enough. Well, I'm right there. And I've been pissed balled around so much that you get to the point and you think, like, I'm not doing it. And I'm not sitting drinking broth, and I'm not going to bloody have vegetables and boiled chicken every night for my dinner and salmon. No, I'm not. So she said, was you ever offered bariatric surgery? I said, yes, I was, right? Because I've gone up now to 107 kilos, right? So I said, yes, I was. I said, but this was before COVID, and then I never heard another thing. I was meant to be having it done, yeah? Meant to be having gastric sleeve. Is it a sleeve or band? Something like that. Never heard another thing from her. So she's gone on the computer and she can see that, and she's like, no one's done follow-ups with you or anything. She's just got saying, I'm so sorry. And I said, well, it's not your fault, because it's not her fault, is it? But she's like, I'm so sorry. Anyway, so I'm going to cut a long story, if that's possible for you, girl. Cutting a long story short. But anyway, what she said to me was, how would I feel about having bariatric surgery, like the gastric band, gastric sleeve, or whatnot? And I said, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. I do not want to have it and end up, listen, I know so many people that have had it, and you know, at the end of the day, I have got a chubby face. I have already got this. Can you imagine the skin hanging down there and skin hanging down there? Are the hospital going to pay for a facelift for me and to remove all this skin, all this skin, all this skin, all the leg skin? No, they give you one surgery and that's it. That's your business. Get on with it. I haven't got the money to pay for that. Do you understand what I mean? And I think looking like that would make me so unhappy. I don't even want to say anymore as to how unhappy. I'd rather be fat and look like this. I know you can say, but Lace, it's your health. I know it's your health, but why would I? So for me to then be healthy and then still not want to leave the house because I look so atrocious, where I've got skin hanging everywhere and can't wear what I, you know, you can't. I mean, I can't wear what I want now as opposed to with my stomach because it sticks out so much. But relatively, I can still wear nice things. What am I going to do? Try and tie my skin up, tie my legs up. Oh, it's just, it puts the fear in me so bad. Anyway, so I said, I don't want that. And she said, right, you don't want that, but you're finding it hard to lose the weight by yourself when you do need to lose the weight. So anyway, she said to me, and you know, there was no mention of insulin. Remember I said to you they were going to put me on insulin? She didn't mention it at all. However, when I first walked in the door, that was it as well, another thing. She said on her notes that it had said, this is where I've got now a problem now, and I'm waiting for my doctors to call me back. She said that on the notes that she has, that she's been told I have to come off metformin completely, right? I don't even get that. I'm thinking of some things that have happened. Anyway, so I've got to come off metformin completely. So I was like, okay, but no mention of insulin. There was no mention at all of insulin, right? And I never mentioned it because that's not my job, that's theirs. So I didn't mention about the insulin, what Janet had spoke about. So I just said, so, you know, what can we do? She said, well, as far as your gallbladder and liver is concerned, that's for the gastro team. So I'm seeing them in June. Wait till you see them. She said, but I want to start you on Mounjaro, which is the weight loss drug. Now, she was saying that if you have the bariatric surgery, I'm saying bariatric surgery, you know what I mean, a sleeve or a band or whatever, that will take 25% is what she said of your body weight down. I think that's what she said. With the Mounjaro, it will take 21. She said, so it's only 4% less, and it's less invasive, of course, because you're not having this major surgery. She said, so that's why most people will opt for the Mounjaro, right? And I said to her, no, I don't want it. Because I've heard horror stories, bad horror stories about Mounjaro. And I suppose you could say that about everything. Everything you take, there can be horror stories. But I've heard horror stories on people that are healthy, but you're wanting to give it to someone who's got so many things wrong with them and so many health problems and conditions. And this is what my mum said. She said that, you know, this has happened to healthy people. She don't want me to take what I'm going to show you anyway, but I'm going to take them. I've tried to explain it to her. But even my friend Julie, she said, you have to do your own research on stuff, so I will try. If not, I'll speak to the old AI and ask them. But anyway, so I said, I don't want the Mounjaro. And so she said, why? And I just told her, I said, so what could happen? She said, you can get pancreatitis, but we have to weigh up the pros and cons. And for how you are at the moment, we think it's in your best interest that we start you on the Mounjaro? And I still said, no, I don't want it. I said, is there a tablet form I could have? And she said, well, there is, but it's not as, maybe as fast, quick acting. I don't know what she mentioned. And we don't usually like to give it to you. So I said, well, I'm not happy to take Mounjaro. So obviously I've said no to the gastric band or sleeve. I've said no to the Mounjaro. So what she said, give me a minute. She goes out and brings in the top dog, doesn't she? The top consultant, diabetic consultant. So she's come in. She said to me, because it was both women doctors I see today. So she said to me, what's your concern? I said, concerns. I said, listen, I said, I suffer with OCD. I said, my heart is going 10 to a dozen. I said, I am terrified. I said, I'm terrified that I'm going to, you know, because I've heard so many horror stories about people that are healthy, let alone with all the things I've got. And she said, you have got a lot of health problems. I mean, even, like I say, even the doctor held my hand. She said, you poor thing, you're too young to have all this wrong with you. And I could see she genuinely felt so sorry for me. And I was like, bless her. So nice, isn't it? But anyway, when she was doing the typing, she was like, I'm going to get to the end of your medication in a minute. I said, it's all right, I've got all day. But anyway, so she said to me, what's your concern? So I told her, and I said, I've got, you know, anxiety and stuff. I said, and I'm so terrified. I said, I'm absolutely petrified. I said, to have the Mounjaro. I said to her, please, can I have the tablets? So she then says the same as the other doctor who originally seen me. I don't know either of their names, I'm sorry. But Dr. A and Dr. B. Dr. B's the high consultant, let's say. So I'm talking to Dr. B now, the high consultant. And she said, again, usually we don't really give the tablets. She said, but on this occasion, I'm going to let you have them. She said, I'm going to start you on a really low dose, see how you go with them. If after a month you tolerated them, it goes up to 7 milligrams, and then either 14 or 15. So here we have what I've been given. So before I take them, I am going to do my research, as she said. So this is them. They're called Ribelsus semaglutide. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Here. Just covering up some info you can't see, alright? Get stalkers. So this is them. And then when I opened them, so it's one a day. Now these are only 3 milligrams. So this is them, which I'm going to start taking tomorrow, even though I'm dreading it. But when I read this, hang on. When I read this, it said in here, yeah, that this is for type 2 diabetes, right? So this is what it's saying. But it said that usually this is given to people that cannot tolerate metformin. Now, I'm on glucophage, but it is metformin. It's the name of it. Is it the name of it? It is metformin, though. I do know that, but it's called glucophage, right? But like I say, she told me when I first walked in, we need to get you off of that completely. But then when I've left with these, well, not with these, I had to get them from the chemist, she never told me when I left, do I stop the metformin or do I carry on the metformin and the glimepiride? Because she's like, oh, you're on metformin, glimepiride, and the ezetimibe. I don't know if I'm saying it right. But she never said. So the first thing she said when I walked in was, we need to get you off metformin. We've been told to stop it. But then I walked out an hour later and nothing was mentioned again about the metformin. So then I thought, I don't want to start taking these. And then I have a bleeding, what is it, a hypo, or I don't know, your blood sugar's dropped too low or whatever. So then I tried to phone up where I've been at the hospital. Couldn't get any joy from them. There was no answer on the switchboard. But she was right moany old cow. Right, as I was, because what else she did, I'll show you that in a minute. There's something else I've got to do. So she said to me, go down to the laboratory. So I said, okay. So when I've gone to, I was looking for the laboratory. So anyway, I've gone to the reception. There's an older woman now. So I said, where's the laboratory? She went, the what? I said, the laboratory. She said, you mean pathology? I said, well, the doctor said laboratory. She went, it's pathology. And as I walked off, she's looking me up and down going, look, like that. And I thought, oh, cut her bleeding old granny Fanny, moany granny Fanny. Anyway, and the reason I had to go there was because I had to pick up this beautiful, gorgeous bottle, because I have to do 24-hour urine. She just said, right, your start time and your finish time. So 24-hour urine in this bag. And then, what's that for? I don't know what that cup's for. Anyway, and then she said I had to, just give myself a paper cut now. What's this? So it says, clinical details, T2DM high BMI, brown serum. So I don't actually know what that one is. Oh, right, okay. So this one is for the urine here. And she's already took my name and everything off and put it on there. So this one's for the urine specimen. Right, but what this is for, so then she gave me this as well. And I've got to take this Sunday night, yeah? And it's called dexamethasone 500 milligram tabs. Dexamethasone. And what she said, because she was saying like she gave me an examination of my stomach as well, and she said obviously where the liver and gallbladder is, it is swollen, but she wants to check that this protruding belly, because it almost looks like, you know, like when somebody's malnutritioned and it goes very pot belly, it's kind of like that. So she wants to make sure it's nothing to do with a hormonal imbalance. So she's given me these tablets. So I've got to take them between 10 and 11. There they are. 10 and 11 on Sunday night, like, so when I'm laying in bed or whatever. And then I've got to go and have the blood tests, which is what this form obviously is for, between 8 and 9 a.m. at the hospital Monday. So that is what I've got to do. But anyway, so this is all what I'm doing. So I am meant to be starting how to take your Rybelsus. Take on an empty stomach at any time of the day. Take the tablet with a sip of water. Wait at least 30 minutes before eating, drinking or taking other medications. And that's it. So there they are. So I just thought it was quite an important update. So, you know, that's what I thought. So you never know, watch this space. I might end up like this within a few months. But what I've decided is even if I agree with these, what I'm saying is if I agree, and so, because she said the side effects are being sick, diarrhea, and she said to me, you really don't need no more of that. I was like, absolutely. Although that's really bizarre, because she said that these can slow down the movements of your bowels. So I don't know, but she then said the side effects can still be diarrhea, which I find that quite bizarre. But anyway, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. But so I'm gonna start taking one of, well, I say that I'm waiting now for the doctor to get back to me, because imagine if I've taken a metformin today, so I couldn't say, if they say, oh no, you can't take your metformin, then that would mean that I couldn't have taken this day anyway. So I'm, no matter, regardless, saying that though, if the doctor's going to get back to me still by tomorrow, I won't take it tomorrow either. It'll be the next day until I know what is going on, because I've got enough pills going into my gullet. Do you know what I mean? I told you I just done a paper cut. Oh, yeah, you see that? Doofus. I think that's it. I don't think I've left anything out. So for any of my diabetic nurses that are on there, it's just, and when I spoke to the pharmacist as well, because I said to him, I'm really worried about even taking these. I said, what do you think? He said, a lot of people take them. He said, and obviously there's side effects with everything. He said, but if you get any really bad side effects, he said, just discontinue them. He said, and tell your doctor. He said, but these do help with your diabetes as well. That's what the pharmacist said. They will help with your diabetes. So that's why I just don't know. Do I take them and the metformin, or I don't know. I just don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I've got bleeding letters and stuff strewn everywhere. pathology specimen bag. It's going to have me pee in it, isn't it? Alright, let's put the bottle back. So, anyway, I did this health update because people have actually said before, you know, to do a health update, and this one I thought was important because I have been given these tablets which are like Mounjaro. So for anyone who's on Mounjaro and any of my subscribers, I know that one of my subscribers, her husband's on Mounjaro, and she said he's doing really well and he's lost a lot of weight, but again, he may not have other things that were wrong with him to start with. So that's what worries me. I have so many things wrong with me. Is it just going to make me more ill? I've heard such horror stories. Now, I know this doesn't say Mounjaro, but it does the same thing. Having said that, it's a very low milligram. I did want to snap it in half and do a 1.5, but I thought I'd better not. You know, you just don't know if you're doing right for wrong, do you really? But I will keep you updated with how I'm getting on with them and whatever else has happened and all that malarkey, because I know a few of you are diabetic or have been told you're pre-diabetic or you've just started on metformin. So, you know, I'm hoping this might have enlightened you in some ways. I don't know, it may have done, it may not have done, but I've done it anyway. I've had a few companies wanting to do some collabs, so I'm going to do a back-to-back. I've got a collaboration here on the floor, which I will do after this one, but I don't know when it'll be uploaded. Sometime this week, but I can't tell you when. Oh, I watched a really good film called The Working Man with Jason Statham. I do want to start watching Mobland because it looks alright, and it's got Crumpet, it's got my Tom's in that too. So someone he done an interview the other day, and someone had the audacity to write underneath, God, he's aged overnight. Although I do agree a little bit, Tom, you have aged a bit, but it don't matter. Still think you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And don't get me wrong, when you were a bit younger, you looked even more Crumpet, but you're still Crumpet, all right? Don't worry. I still think you're Crumpet. But anyway, listen, I hope you've enjoyed this health talk. If it is the kind of thing that you like and you'd like to hear more, if you'd like to hear about, you know, the OCD, a few of you have said that you would like to hear about OCD. I have got some stories. I've even had people say, can I have stories on all of your tattoos? And I will do that at some point. Not that I would say apart from this one and this that says CJ, I'm not sure that any of them really have any meanings. I've just gone in and gone, this is me. This is me. I'll just go, yeah, just do me a favour, shove me octopus here. Well, not octopus, it's a dream catcher, but it looks like octopus. Which side is it? I think it's this side. Looks like octopus, it's meant to be a dream catcher. And I'll just go, yeah, whack something there. Yeah. I mean, I'm not being funny. When I first had that done, that bit there, yeah, I wasn't happy with that. There, because I think it looks a bit like a vagina. Vag tat. I mean, who goes and says, do you know what? I really fancy a vaginal tattoo. No one. What is that? It's meant to be a flower. I bet you lot have never noticed it before. Now you can't unsee it. Now you're like, Lisa's got a vagina on her wrist. Do you know what I mean? Oh, so you know what? I'm not a real religious person. Not into politics, really, not into all that malarkey. So whatever I say now, don't come for me, because this is not my words. Disclaimer, this is not Lisa's words. This has been what she's read on YouTube. So the Pope passed, and I've been watching on YouTube these really terrifying things, right? So they reckon that the next Pope is going to be young. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to be in his 20s. He could be in his 20s. I doubt it, though. It could be 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s even. I don't know, because this one was in his 80s, wasn't he? But, do you know what they're saying he's going to be? That's what I reckon. I don't want to say the word. That's what they reckon. They're having a conclave as we speak. Did you see that as well? There was like some funny ritual going on. Yeah? Funny ritual. Do you know what a conclave is? If you don't know what the conclave is, have a look. That's how they choose the next pope anyway. Yeah. It's done by a ballot or something like that. Something like that. I only know that because I watched the film Conclave. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a clue. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, and they're saying all these bad things are going to happen. And then when I was in the hospital yesterday, because I went up to the old urgent care centre, I didn't realise it was urgent care. I thought it was A&E, it was urgent care. I was watching, there was power cuts in Spain and Portugal. Watch this space. Anyway, listen, I'm jibber-jabbering, talking out my batty crease as per. So if you've liked this video, please subscribe to my channel because it is free. Give me a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, drop some comments down below if there's anything you want to know, or if there's any information that you can give me. I would absolutely be so grateful for it. So I say, if I don't start these rebelses tomorrow, it will be Thursday. Please save me life. Save me life. Oh, stick myself. Or something else. Yeah. Anyway, that's another thing. Anyway, I love you all very much. Okay, go and enjoy the sun. I wish I could. Anyway, laters, potatoes. Bye.